Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be replacing a garbage disposal that has stopped working with a brand new one up next. Hey guys, my name is Jeff, and on this channel I do all sorts of home improvement projects, tech reviews, tutorials, and more, so please consider subscribing. Today our garbage disposal has stopped working. I now have the fun task of going and replacing the garbage disposal, and I figured since I'm doing this, let's make a video and help you guys out as well. So this is going to be the garbage disposal that I am using for the replacement. This is a 3/4 horsepower InSinkErator Badger 5XP, and I will leave links down in the description below if you want to check out this particular disposal or any of the other products or things I'm talking about in this video. The biggest concern that you probably are going to have is whether you need a separate power cord or if you have power that you are going to wire inside of this garbage disposal. Now, our particular garbage disposal, you have to wire using the power that's coming out of the wall that we have, so I'm going to be doing that. But you may have your existing garbage disposal plugged right into a regular outlet. Before you buy your next garbage disposal, you're either going to need to reuse the plug that you are using for your old garbage disposal or purchase a new one, and you'll need to check the instructions on the side of your box to see what's included with the garbage disposal you're going to be purchasing. So for this particular project, I'm going to be using some plumber's putty. I've got some adjustable pliers, some screwdrivers, and then I've got a Milwaukee tool driver just to kind of speed up the process of screwing and unscrewing stuff. Just to let you guys know, I am not a licensed electrician or plumber. This is just a do-it-to-yourself project video, and I can't take any responsibility for anything in this video. So please take care and safety when you are working with any type of plumbing projects, electrical projects. Please take care to make sure that you are not running any water, and make sure that you've got your electricity turned off before you are working on projects just like this one. So because my garbage disposal is hardwired into our electrical Romex coming out of the wall, I'm going to go down to my circuit breaker and find the circuit my garbage disposal is on, make sure that is turned off. Now, the garbage disposal actually runs on a switch, but even though it runs on a switch, I still think it's good practice to turn off the circuit that your garbage disposal is on before you start any work. All right, so I am down here. Looks like it is circuit number 6. We're going to turn that guy off, and now we can begin work. Some other things I'd recommend before you start, you're probably going to want a good flashlight or some sort of a portable light to light up your under cabinet area. And then as you are removing or taking apart any existing plumbing, you may have some standing water from just previously using the sink. So you probably want to get yourself some sort of a bucket that you can leave underneath. So this is my existing garbage disposal. This is the one that we are going to remove. I just want to show you on the back what I am going to be doing. So you can see there are 2 pipes that are running to this. This bottom pipe is actually coming out of the garbage disposal, and then that's where any of the water is draining. This other pipe that's coming in, this is coming from my dishwasher. So our dishwasher is right next door to this guy. So as this guy drains, it is flowing through this tube, heading to our garbage disposal, and then it is going through the drain pipe out. So in order to remove this garbage disposal, we're going to have to unscrew it from up here. But before we can do that, we're going to remove these existing pipes. So these existing pipes are held on by these clamps, and these are screw clamps. And I can just use a screwdriver to loosen that up, and then I can use my pliers to help pry that off, or you could probably just use your hand and pry that off. And then this other drain pipe, I'm going to loosen this up and detach this so that this frees up the garbage disposal. So with our drain pipe coming out of the back of the disposal, there's not a lot of room to work with. you could either loosen this pipe connection here, or what I think I'm going to do, just because I tried loosening this and I don't have enough room to pull this apart. So there are 2 screws that hold this drain pipe to the back of the garbage disposal. I'm going to unscrew those screws and see if I can at least move this pipe out of the way so that I can finish taking off the rest of this garbage disposal. And real quick, as we do in all the videos on this channel, we've hidden Tinker. He's our little hidden robot. If you happen to briefly spot him popping up somewhere during this video, take note of the timestamp or the amount of time into this video that you saw him pop up. Let me know that down in the comments section below, along with your best comment. If you're the first person to find Tinker in this video, you'll get your name on our Tinker Ford Hall of Fame page, as well as a shout out in a future video on this channel. The next thing I'm going to do is unscrew the garbage disposal. A couple of things. So this bracket here, which is screwed in to the bottom of the sink, is actually holding the weight of your garbage disposal. There are little hooks that are on the sides going around this, and you can just take a screwdriver, and we're going to stick one in there, and then I'm going to stick another one in over here, and then using force, I'm going to use the screwdriver as a way to turn this garbage disposal so that it unclamps and comes down. Now when I do this, there is definitely some weight to the garbage disposal, so you have to be prepared, either getting your hand underneath it. I've actually got my elbow resting on the bottom of the cabinet, so this is actually pretty good for a presence for me to take my hand then and maneuver this thing down. So you'll notice after I unscrewed it, it's going to come loose, and I am just going to bring this straight down. So with the old disposal down, the next thing I'm going to have to do is take off the wiring that's going to this particular garbage disposal, and we are going to wire up the new garbage disposal. So this is the new garbage disposal. This is the InSinkErator Power Series 3/4 horsepower Dura drive motor. So we have got our instructions. This is our sink mounting flange. Here is our new garbage disposal. So you'll see here we've got our discharge tube, and then we've got our mounting bracket with our rubber flange, and then we also have a wrench that we can use as well. So on the top of this we have our, they call it a sink baffle. I call it the rubber flaps. But that kind of protects from just anything bouncing back out. I suppose I want to see what's inside. Let's pry this guy off. So I can just kind of get my thumb underneath it, and that allows me to just gently pull up on the rim of this. That exposes the inside. So let's take a look inside this guy. So there's the inside of our garbage disposal. So this whole bottom circle spins, and then these little metal pieces, you can kind of see them turning as I'm turning the garbage disposal. Those things also spin around, and those are the blades actually chopping up all the food that's going in. And then you can see the little slots down there. That's where all the stuff's going to go, and then it's going to discharge out right here. So here's my old garbage disposal. Here's the new one I just bought. I'm going to flip this one down. And you can see we've got virtually the same layout. We've got our power going into my old one right here, and we are gonna remove this access door. And with that out, we can see we now have access to all of the electrical inside. And I'm gonna move my new one off to the side so we can disconnect the old one. So I'm gonna use a screwdriver to help pry out some of the wires that are in here. Now remember, before you're messing with any of this electrical, make sure that you have turned off that breaker so that there's no power going to your garbage disposal right now. So we're going to remove this existing electrical tape that's on here. And then we have some white wires, we have some black wires. We're going to unscrew these caps. And And then we also have a grounding wire that's inside, and we're going to unscrew that. So this white power wire that's coming in, the Romex that's going into the bottom, is clamped down by this little piece right here, and then it's actually just looping around. And these are the cables that you're seeing right here. If I move this, you'll notice that those are moving and making the connections with this garbage disposal. So now we're going to remove this piece right here. Alright, so once I've got that loosened up, now I've got room where I can pull the existing cables out. So we're going to do a little maneuvering. And I was able to get the existing wires that are coming out of my wall out of the old garbage disposal. We're going to repeat this in reverse and do it in the new garbage disposal. And if this video is helping you out, take a second right now, smash that like button, as it helps out this video as well as this channel. So, and real quickly, let's just talk about our new garbage disposal. So this little button that's down on the bottom, that is to reset it if you ever need to do that. The other thing is, hopefully it came with some sort of a wrench. Hold on to this wrench, put it someplace. You could even probably just tape it right on the side of this garbage disposal so that you know where it is. But you can insert this into the bottom, and if you ever get this lodged and it's clogged up real good, you can use this wrench to help you turn it to dislodge stuff on the inside. So let's hook up our new wires. I'm going to open up our access door. So on my new garbage disposal, it actually doesn't have that clamp piece like my old one. So I can actually just turn this, and this is going to unscrew from my old garbage disposal, and we'll just screw it into our new one. Let's get rid of this old garbage disposal. We won't be needing this anymore. Okay, with that all set up and ready to go, then what we are going to do is just what we did in reverse. Let's put these power back in. Now we need to grab the existing power lines that are in here. This is the fun part. You got to insert the wires and then get them to curve back around. You're going to want to take some needle nose pliers and make sure that this grounding wire has a good hook on it so that you can put it around that grounding screw and then screw that back in. And you've got your black wires, you've got your white wires. We're going to connect those guys up, and I like to twist the wires together. And you want to twist them in the direction that you're going to be putting that electrical cap back on. You want to make sure that's on there nice and tight. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with these white wires. Let's start getting them ready and pre-twist them a little bit, and then we'll get our cap on them. You want to make sure that these make a good connection. I'm going to go ahead and wrap these black and white wires with a little bit more electrical tape. And then let's go ahead and screw in our grounding wire. Alright, so we've got all of our power connected up. Our grounding wire is screwed down, so we're going to shove all this back into our slot, and then we're going to put our cover back on. Okay, with the access cover back on, we're going to go ahead and put our wire clamp back down. And you're going to want to make sure, if you've got this Romex coming in, that you can kind of see the Romex has a flat part to it. That flat part needs to seed in with the flat part of this clamp so that it fits nicely. And now our new garbage disposal is all wired up. So with the new garbage disposal hooked up, hey, there we go. We can see all the way down inside the sink. Very fun. I guess you have two options. With my particular garbage disposal, they sent me, or they included this new sink flange. And I've already got a flange installed. You could just keep that existing flange in there if you want. Otherwise, I'm going to actually install this new one because, hey, why not? It's a little nicer. It's not as scratched up as my existing one. So let's go through that process. So let's take a look at this new sink flange that we have. It's got our stopper inside, so we can pull that out. And then you can see there are 3 screws on the bottom holding, there's a couple of pieces together. Let's take this apart. So I'm going to use a screwdriver to pry this snap ring off, but there's a snap ring right on the bottom. That is this guy right here. So then we have our mounting ring, which we're just going to take off, set aside. This is going to be our backup flange. We have our fiber gasket. I can show that to you right there. And then we have the top sink flange right here. So let's remove our old sink flange first. So you don't have to completely remove these screws, but if you can at least loosen them, and that'll give you access to that ring. So I'm able to get my flathead screwdriver in here. Let's pry that snap ring off. Woo! I'm going to go ahead and pull the rest of this apart. So as I'm pulling this off, I can see all the old putty that was used when they, whenever this was put in. So it's good that we're replacing this, because then there'll be a fresh coat of putty in there and some better sealant. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. And then I am going to clean up all of this old putty that was used underneath this old sink flange. So I actually just put a paper towel underneath, and then I have a little plastic scraper, and this works good so it doesn't scratch up the sink, and that allowed me to get in there and get all that old putty out. So using some of my plumber's putty, I rolled out a long strand. It tells you about a 1/2 inch diameter, but I'm going to put that around the bottom of my sink flange, and then we are going to press this in to the sink like so. I'm going to line up the writing so that it's nice and straight, and then we will press this down. Okay, as we're attaching this sink flange from the bottom, we're going to need to put some weight on this in the meantime. So you can use, if you want to use your old garbage disposal, you could set that on top. You could also, I'm just going to use, got a jug of water, put some weight on top of that guy just to hold it down. So we're going to put on our fiber gasket. We've got our backup flange, and then we've got our mounting bracket. I'm going to set those on. When you're putting this mounting bracket on, make sure that you have your angles and your screws are pointing down so that you can slide the garbage disposal on. And then we've got our ring, so I'm going to put that on, and I'm trying to not push up too much on the inside sink flange so that that doesn't pop up. So with everything being put together and held on, it's all just kind of sitting on that snap ring that you put in there. You're going to screw these screws back on, and as you do that, that's going to raise this flange up. But keep in mind that this bracket is being held on by this ring, and if you screw these too tight, you're going to pop this whole bracket piece back off. How do I know this? Because I already did it. So don't screw it on too tight, but screw it enough so that it is snug. So once you get this whole flange tightened down, you're going to have all this putty that is seeping out the sides. You can use a screwdriver. I'm using this plastic piece again just so I don't scratch up the sink. And I'm just going around and removing all that excess putty. So if you're like me and you've got a dishwasher and you're going to connect up that dishwasher hose to this garbage disposal, right now this drain port has a cap in it. To get that cap out, you're going to take a screwdriver and a hammer and just pound it until that puppy pops out of there. If you don't have a dishwasher, don't do this. You just leave that cap in there. And then once that cap falls inside the garbage disposal, you can I was doing it before, but you can remove this sink baffle by just getting a finger inside it and then gently pulling up, and that'll pop out, and then you can reach in there and find that cap to pull it out. And there we go. Put my sink baffle back on. So now we're going to hang the garbage disposal, and we have the large hoops on the outside that we used to help undo it. On the inside are 3 small little hooks, and those we want to hook onto 3 ridges going around. So I'm going to go ahead and try and do that, and as I'm doing it, I'm going to twist this so that it locks on top of this mounting bracket. And then once I've got that on there, I can just continue turning it until you'll hear it lock into place. And now I've got the garbage disposal hung. Next is we're going to work on reconnecting our plumbing. So I've got my dishwasher pipe, I've got my drain pipe. I'm going to go ahead and connect both of these back up. Okay, and then it's important that when you are putting all your pipes back together that these are nice and secure and tight, but you don't want to over tighten them, especially if you've got a lot of plastic down here, because you could crack something and then now you're going to cause a leak. So with everything installed, let's go ahead and turn our power back on and let's test this out. All right, let's flip our circuit back on. So let's go ahead and first turn our sink on. And at this point, you also want to check for any leaks down below. Not currently seeing any leaks, so we seem to be good there. Let's test out our garbage disposal. And there we go, we have successfully installed our garbage disposal. So I'm interested to know, what did you guys think about this video? Was it helpful, or do you guys have any other questions, or how did things go for your garbage disposal installation? Let me know down in the comments section below. And hey, if you like this video, I have done a ton of other do-it-yourself projects as well as auto maintenance projects on my channel, so feel free to check that out. If you haven't yet subscribed, take a second right now, hit that subscribe button, that little notification bell. You'll get notified every time I release weekly videos. My name is Jeff. This is Tinker Ford. Hey, thanks guys so much for coming along with me on this fun little project. I've got more planned for the future, and as I said earlier in this video, I also do a lot of tech reviews and tech tutorials as well. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to make every day awesome, and I will see you guys in the next video.